does an inspirational man like yourself, blind Paralympic from Germany, end up in Western Australia with a camel farm?
Wow, long start, long-winded question. We've got time.
Yeah.
So, first of all, the connection to Australia was through my family. So I've got a great auntie. They've been living here for 60 odd years. And so they're, I think, third generation or whatever now. And they're in Wollongong and some of them are in Melbourne. And so back in 2001, I already went to school there for a year, staying with my relatives. So that was my link, why Australia felt sort of, related. I was, sort of related to the country. Then I finished my school and started studying in Germany, did a bachelor's and master's in agricultural science in Germany, and then moved to the UK with my now wife so that she could study forensic science, and I did a master's degree in business management. And then back in 2010, we came back to Australia, and pretty well, because of my Paralympic background, I got nominated by the Australian Paralympic Committee to what they call distinguished talent migration. So within 6 months, I had my permanent residency. It's really fast track, right? Usually that's like a 2-year winded process plus 4-year waiting and blah, 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 whatever. But so it was all fast track. Within the first year, basically, we were both on permanent residency, and then I had my citizenship pretty shortly after that. And then in 2011, I started my PhD here at UWA, University of Western Australia, in crop physiology. So at that stage, still nothing to do with camels. But 2-3 years later, my wife, because she knew I always wanted to go back into practical farming. I like the research, but I like the applied research and basically using your knowledge to create something for the better, really.
I see.
And so then she saw that documentary on the ABC that Australia got the largest and healthiest wild camel population in the world. And all we do, unfortunately, is shoot them. And so she basically said, "Oh, why don't you do camels then?" Because she knew I wanted to go into practical farming, but without land, without own farm and nothing, to just do weed sheep and whatever, it's really hard.
Well, it's crazy. We shoot them here because it's insane how we've got the largest camel population in the world, in any part of the world. That's correct? Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah, so we've got
in
now
Australia.
In Australia,
they're not a native animal here. From what I've researched, the camels were introduced here originally to South Australia in 1840. Is that right?
That's about right.
From
yeah,
India.
1840s.
Yeah, Indian camels.
Yes. Yeah, well, and Pakistani and Afghan camels. So there's the Gan train that runs through Central Australia. Gan was one of the first Afghan cameleers, and he came in the 1840s basically to help build the train tracks. So they were deliberately taken to Australia because they are so bloody well adapted to hot, dry environments like Australia.
Deserts
and then so I always say they used to be our first road trains, and eventually they got replaced by trucks and trains, and then they exploded in numbers. And now we've got, I think one estimation I've seen was 4 million wild camels. And when I say, that is the largest wild population. There is, of course, more camels, let's say, in East African and Middle East, but they're not wild camels. They're all domesticated camels that belong to farmers and, pastoralists.
Yeah.
So
it's insane how in Australia
and they are so upset. They're so upset when they hear, when I talk to them, Max, why do you kill our camels? It's a culturally valuable animal, and they cannot get their head around how stupid we are and just waste it.
Yeah, we just shoot them and leave them there, pretty much.
Well, that's it. It's and that's actually a big important point. They shoot them. First of all, they shoot from a moving platform onto a moving target, which is you should know pretty tough to do at best. And so sometimes it's pretty cruel. Like they leave them and sometimes a couple of days until they die. Yep. And then wild cats come in, wild dogs come in, and then they explode in numbers. So what do you do now? Now you got to bait them. So they they create another problem with other
to
predators.
fix one, you create another one or two problems,
yeah.
and
It's just
that's what
stupid.
we've been doing for a very long time.
Very long time.
Yeah. So how did you come up with an idea to get involved and to improve
Overall system,
Yeah.
So my wife saw this documentary and basically I looked into it more while I was sort of finishing off my PhD at the time, and said I'm going to milk them.
milking camels?
Yes, milking camels.
Right. So your wife come up with that idea?
That's right. There was this article on the ABC, and and it's called White Gold of the Desert and all that.
Yeah.
And why don't you do that? And so
Something a lot of people don't know. You can milk camels.
Oh, absolutely, yes, yeah.
Okay.
They're mammals. I mean, you can basically milk anything that has a baby, but the milk has a lot of benefits. I think that's sort of the reasoning behind it, and it's easy to picture that because an animal, as you can imagine, that is extremely adapted to thrive in a harsh environment must have some benefits in the milk to be able to sustain and bring up a healthy baby, basically, in that kind of environment. So the milk is packed with anti-inflammatory, antibacterial properties. It's high in vitamin C, high in iron. It's got, for the skincare that we're doing, it's got a lot of what they call alpha hydroxy acids, which is essentially a bunch of organic acids that help to remove dead skin cells and reveal the young skin underneath. So it's got, we've got a lot of customers that have eczema, psoriasis, or like really dry skin to use the milk. And if you have a milk allergy, there's a different form of lactose in the milk.
Yep.
You can drink it.
Well, let's go back a little bit now.
Yeah.
When the idea come up to milk camels, and what did you do from there?
So I started planning a lot and read about it. Essentially, I went, funny enough, back to Europe to learn from a guy in Germany that had over 100 camels, and then went to the Netherlands, looked at them. My brother at the time, we went to the UAE, and then and then eventually we found a farmer south of here in Baldivis where we had a bit of a share farm arrangement. And so we basically set up some yards out of scrap metal and little, because I came freshly off the school bench, right? You have to say no money, no nothing, no land. So we built some facilities, and then I had a friend, she worked on a farm down in Kojenab, and they used to export camels to Lebanon, I think. And she said,
Export from here.
Yeah. So there was a little bit on and off, right? But not a lot. Like not like a. Some people were doing a little bit, and so that farmer was a bit of a progressive guy, and he had some camels, still had 4 or so left. So we took basically our first 3 camels from there, and just brought them to the farm almost to practice. And then shortly after that, we already organized a little old horse truck, where we could put 5 camels inside, and we went out to the station with my brother.
And that's your farm that I come to visit you on?
No. That's down in Baldivis. I'm not on that property at all anymore.
Right.
That was there. We took them, from the station and got our first pregnant females. And then from there, they obviously had a baby. And then we started playing around with milking. I had no idea. I went to Melbourne to a guy that trained me a bit on handling camels because they're quite different to cows and horses.
They're a big animal.
Yeah, they're big animals, but I think the point that I'm trying to make is camels are not flight animals. So if you look at a cow, that's a big animal as well, or a horse, but they're flight animals. So if something happens, all they know is run, run, run.
Yep.
A camel, where they come from, they're on top of the food chain. So their whole psychology is more like fawn, so like a dog, and that's how they react. So you treat them quite differently. And I think I always say they're a little bit like a misunderstood beast, people always say, they spit and they're stubborn, which is not true. So that, first of all, camels do not spit.
Beautiful, majestic animal.
Very majestic, very calming creatures, and that's what you're going to see on the farm when you come up there. They're very inquisitive, curious, gentle giants. That's how you can describe them.
Yeah.
They literally come up and
They're cuddly.
rest. They come up and rest the
It's
head on
crazy.
you want to hold the head. it's no, seriously.
They come up to you like a puppy.
They are,
much.
not all of them. I mean, there's different characters. Some don't like as much affection as others, but we've got some that are up to a point, from a business point of view, it's almost too annoying, because you want to move them from A to B and use them. And if you always just got these big puppies like trying to follow you and get more, you haven't pet me enough yet. Like, come on, I want to milk you, move out.
Right.
Next one.
So milking an animal like that is quite different than anything any farmer knows about, like just milking cows, right? Of course.
Yeah.
So what's involved? Tell me about that.
Camels, first of all, because they're much more traditional animals. So they're one of the oldest domesticated animals, but still where they come from originally, it's very traditional. So a cow and a camel dairy is one big difference is we need the baby to let down the milk. So in a cow dairy, the first thing you do is when the baby is born, you take the baby away and milk the mum because she'll let down the milk without the baby present. And then you raise the baby separately. In a camel dairy, what we do is basically nothing. Once the baby is born, you leave mum and baby together so they can bond and build a relationship. And then once they're about 4 weeks old, we then start separating the mum and baby during the night. And then when we come with our milking system, we put the mum into the milking system, and
Together.
the baby will come out from the outside to suckle. So we need the baby present during the milking process. It'll suckle on the mum, and the suckling will release oxytocin, which is the hormone that then helps to let down the milk. And then we milk, and then afterwards mum and baby walk off together, and we never ever have to supplement feed our baby. So it's very natural. Like the whole process, we basically just tap in and take a bit of the cream on top, if you like, for our operation.
Yeah.
And the rest is basically cared for by the mum.
Crazy.
Yeah. So it's it's a nice system, and we've obviously developed we've innovated our own milking system, a mobile system. So we, usually cows are milked in a shed. You bring the cows there, run them back and forth.
Yep.
But you create what we call a hotspot, because all the inputs, all the outputs are in one central location. And our system that we developed, and that's very unique to DromeDairy, because, if you're milking camels, you're already different. If you're milking camels, what everyone is saying then is, milk them in a system that is known, like put them in a cow dairy modified to suit camels. And we've done that early on, but I thought that's not enough. Like, they're different animals. Our typical customers, they want sustainable products, ethical products. We decentralize our operation. So the solution was a mobile system. So instead of taking the camels to the system, we actually hook up the system and take it to the camels. And then we milk them where they are in the paddock. And then if we rotate to another paddock, we'll come to that paddock next time.
So it's completely mobile. So
it's a tuck along thing behind a little tractor.
Yeah, right.
And it's about 22
and you
meters
take
long.
It to where the camel is on the paddock.
Yes.
At the time.
And the reason for it is to decentralize the operation. So if you have to imagine, no matter what we do, we always have an impact on the environment. It's just to soften the footprint, and I always like to make the comparison, like camels have big soft threaded feet, so we want to be equal with our operation. Don't have like a hoof that imprints really hard into your environment. Yeah. We want a soft threaded impact. And so by spreading the impact out, like milking in this location and tomorrow in that location, we soften the blow rather than having one central location. I mean, I think that makes sense. And even when we scale, we can have 10 of those systems. Let's say if things go really well and everyone buys camel milk products in the future, we need to milk 1,000 camels. That's not a problem. We've got enough. So we'll keep training them. We've got that process sorted, and then we'll just milk in 10 different locations, making it even more decentralized. So, and then we can have it like a franchise type.
How much milk comes out? It doesn't sound like a lot, the way you've just explained it there. But how much milk do you get in comparison to the traditional cow milk from one camel?
Yep. So, okay, so that is true. Camels, I mean, there is variation in camels, obviously, and we'll just, obviously, over the next 20 years, we'll have to select the highest yielding camel. But, you know, that can range from 1 liter to 5-6 liters, or now in spring, sometimes 8 liters a camel. But it's very...
Anywhere from 1 liter to 8 liters.
Yeah, let's say call 4 to 5 liter
per session, per milk. No,
per day if you were milked it. Yeah, so...
Okay. How many times can you milk it?
Well, you could if you want 3 times. At the moment, we only milk once a day. So the thing is, like if you just... Let's just compare one camel to a Holstein dairy cow. They produce 30 to 60 liters. So I always compare, like a camel produces only 1/6 of the volume that a normal dairy cow produces. And there's another difference. When you're milking a cow, you'll have that cow pregnant while she's lactating. And then she dries off for a month, has another baby, and the whole cycle starts again. Camels, on the other hand, they can't be pregnant while they're lactating. So they basically, because of progesterone, another hormone, they will stop producing milk after 2-3 months into their pregnancy. So in other words, once they have a baby, we'll just milk them for 1.5 years, up to 2 years sometimes. And then they dry off and go to a bull for breeding, and then the gestation period is 13 months. So in other words, we have about 1/3 only of the group that we own in camels that can milk at any one time. The rest is just nothing. Like it's dry camels breeding, young camels weaned off their mum feed. So you really have to look at the price of the camel milk, and that's why I think it's called white gold of the desert. Not because you're making so much money out of it, but if you take let's say $1 milk, cow milk, which doesn't exist anymore as well. Yeah. Times 3 and times 6, that's your camel milk price.
So I've never bought camel milk. I have no idea you can even buy camel milk.
You can.
Yeah, well, obviously. What's the price difference?
Quite a lot.
So 1 liter,
$18. It used to be $25. Yes, yeah.
It used to be 25. Yeah, and now it's 18.
About that, and I think with increase of volume, it's a numbers game in the end. At the moment, our production is so little, you cannot make it cheaper. We're just breaking even as it is. We're just looking at the fresh milk. Yeah, we can only make money because of the cosmetic, the value adding, which we're probably going to touch on later.
Max, I had no idea you can even I've never seen at a grocery store or like camel milk right there on the shelf next to
it's mainly in smaller specialized stores like halal stores.
And who's your customers? Who buys camel milk? Because it's not like even you go to a cafe and there's a camel milk option with your
camel latte or camelcino. That wouldn't be
that's right. So who are the customers?
At the moment, a lot of people that traditionally are accustomed to camel milk. So people from Somalia, Islamic people, they are a lot of customers. For our powder, I have to say, we do get a lot of Australian customers as well. They
powder?
Milk. We do freeze dry some of our milk into powdered milk. And then you have a lot of people, we have had people that use it, if they didn't have enough breast milk, because camel milk is quite close to human breast milk. They use it for their young ones, or people that have children with autistic children or autism, because the gut health, it improves the gut health.
Wow.
And that alleviates the symptom. And that is quite special, obviously, because, the children, there's no placebo effect, right? Because the children, they don't know, they just drink it, and their behavior changes. Wow. And so...
I had no idea. Research behind that?
There is some, and that's actually a good point. I'm very research driven, for obvious reasons. So there is some, what I just explained through your overall gut health, that they say that it has a massive impact on the mental or on the behavior side of people as well. I'm not an expert on that particular field, so that's why, you know, when I mentioned the alpha hydroxy acids or the high iron content, why it's good for your skincare, I'm very comfortable with that because we've done the measurements with Murdoch University and Curtin. You know, there's certain things you can just measure and you know this is antibacterial because we've measured it, you know.
Right.
So autism, there's some studies there. And I think there need to be more studies, but I guess it's more, the proof is more in, I mean, parents are buying it and giving it to their children and must do something. They keep buying
That's
it.
really interesting. I would like to take a dive into that and have a look at some of the research out there and get into it. But did you bring some camel milk for me today to try?
Just powder.
Just powder?
Yeah, I should have brought a whole glass.
I reckon.
Yeah.
I'd love to try that, but you know, there is a next time for sure. 100%.
There will be a next time, and maybe we'll do that on the farm. Because, you know, talking about the flavor, if you drink milk, the camel milk is not too dissimilar. It's more like a skim milk, but it's still full in your mouth.
Milk, so it's a little
lighter, but still has a similar fat content. But the reason why it is like that is it's and has a hint of saltiness. But the reason why it is
a hint of salt.
Yeah,
so it's a little salty.
Yes, the sweet, but an aftertaste, like a hint of saltiness in
sweet
there.
And salt.
Yeah, it is quite. It is actually a very delicious milk. Actually, it is actually really. It's not like goat milk. I don't know if you drank that, where people either love it or hate it, because it has this distinct goat flavor. I don't know, goat cheese for instance.
No, I've eaten a lot of goat cheese, but I haven't had goat milk.
Yeah. So, but that has a very distinct flavor. Cow's milk and camel's milk is not too
goat strong.
Goat is very strong.
And smell and everything.
Yeah, and camel is not. Camel is a very pleasant milk, and you know we sort of joked about a camel latte, cappuccino. That was actually one of our very original things to do, is to approach all the little specialty cafes, because there's a huge coffee culture in Australia.
Yep.
The milk looks fantastic. It's pure white. Cow's milk almost looks orange.
Well, we've got the best coffee culture here. I mean, this is a great place to launch something like that.
That's right. Even if you just had a liter here and there in like 20 different stores, at least then you have a bit of volume going through. The coffee would have to cost probably $9, or I don't know, like more than a normal coffee because of the milk in it.
Well,
but people might be willing to try it, and you could have a camel latte, and it's certainly better than almond milk.
I like that.
Yeah, cappuccino, camel latte. Yeah.
Cappuccino.
Yeah, and it's very camelicious as well.
All right. So now the expiration. Does it have a longer, shorter shelf life?
Longer. I mean, we put 2 weeks. Yeah, because of the antibacterial. Yeah.
Why is that?
So there's. Why the milk is antibacterial, I don't know. I can just guess because obviously. Again, where they live, there must be some sort of antimicrobial / antibacterial activity in the milk that we have measured. I mean, there was actually a significant difference in the cream fraction of the milk directly in comparison to cow milk. We had a student doing that study. And so, the milk can just last longer.
How much longer in general?
That's a hard one because officially,
roughly. I mean,
maybe 2 or 3 weeks, like that. Maybe
2 or 3 weeks.
we put 2 weeks shelf life on our milk when we sell it, just based on our own tests. But obviously our farm has the license for human consumption with the health department. You know, all the official stuff.
Yep.
And technically, because there's not really knowledge on it, we're really sort of obliged to keep it around the shelf life of a cow milk. So early on we only put a week until we realized now we can really do 2 weeks.
Okay.
I tried it several times and now quite comfortably do that.
Yep.
And which is important, by the time it gets to the shop, sits there. That's why we focus more on the cosmetics, because the shelf, like the logistics behind fresh products, is a nightmare. But we're getting hammered at the moment from a distributor out of Sydney since March.
In Sydney, yeah?
Yeah, he wants our milk, so he's taking his second shipment, I think, this Wednesday. And so we freeze the milk, because that's another thing you can do with camel's milk, is you can freeze it. And when you defrost it, you just give it a shake and you can drink it.
Yeah, well,
because of the small molecular structure, it's fine. But in cow's milk, you've got bigger molecules, and you have to imagine when you freeze cow's milk, the water crystals, they expand, they burst the cell, and when you then defrost it, it's watery.
Correct.
So that's and that doesn't happen with camel's milk. And
so you can freeze it and
we
defrost it any time.
Technically,
so you send it from here frozen.
Yes, yeah.
So you freeze it here, you send it in trucks.
So the early shipments were in smaller boxes, esky boxes now.
Yeah.
But we are working towards, let's say, sending like half a pallet or something.
Okay.
Every week or every fortnight.
Right.
Because he wants to replace us completely, or he already did it apparently. There's other camel dairies. Because I said to him, why don't you get it from them? And he didn't really give an answer, but he said it's just so hard. They one day, we put, didn't have enough milk. Next day, was too creamy. Next day, and I don't know why they've got such a variation.
How many camel farmers I have no idea. You're the first person that I known about, and I did a little bit of research, and I found out that few people tried to set that up in the past and didn't do too well for obvious reasons now. And some of the points that you've been highlighting there. But how many other farmers do you know in WA here?
Oh, in WA, only one.
Which is you?
No, there's another one to us.
Okay, so there's two of you, yeah?
There's Good Earth Dairy as the competition, essentially.
Yeah.
They only do fresh milk, and I don't know too much about them. We did try to work with them in early days, like that's sort of 2016, when they were starting out and we were starting out, but they went sort of the opposite way to where we wanted to go. So they wanted to be big, corporate, and have 5,000 camels. I want to, obviously, who knows where the journey is going to go, but I wanted to have this decentralized system. That's our approach. So we're completely on the other side of the spectrum. We don't want to feedlot the camels. We want them spread out, have the happiest camels in the world, and I think have that more sustainable approach. And they started and collected a lot of crowdfunding and money and had good lobby into government and talked it really up. But unfortunately, they haven't delivered. And I think that's sort of...
It's all commercial, capitalistic vacuum.
They say it's a lot of that stuff, as I said, is very top secret. Funny enough, one of our stockists, for instance, in selling the milk, he invested money into Good Earth. And now he's only selling us our milk, which is a bit strange. And I said, why do you do that? And it's like, nah. Like, I get people ringing me, what's happening with the investment? And I said, sorry, you rung the wrong number. You got to ring these guys. I have no idea. So I really don't know what they're up to because there's everything top secret. And
and how many do you know roughly in the eastern states?
Yeah, eastern states. There's two good operators, Summerland and Camel Co. I talk to them quite regularly. They're good operators. Summerland, for instance, is a beautiful farm with a cafe. You can get camel steak, camel ice cream, camel everything.
Oh, amazing.
Whereabouts
are they?
About 90 kilometers from Brisbane.
Okay.
So
I'm going there in December. I might as well.
Yeah, Summerland. Paul Martin is the owner. So there you can go on a camel ride. Everything they do. They have a skincare range as well. Ours is better, of course. I'm biased, but look, our focus is on the cosmetics, and that's what we want.
Really? It's not so much the milk.
No. We are the expert. We're Dromedary Body and Skin. We're the expert in the skin products.
Yeah.
And they're basically a big tourist operator with a lot of different things. They do. I don't want to say everything and nothing, but they do. We do a vodka as well. With a local distillery. They have a camel milk vodka as well.
Camel vodka.
Yes. Yeah.
Get out of here! Come on now. How do you even? You know what? We won't even get into that. Let's talk about the cosmetics
first. That's a podcast on its own, and then I bring the distiller.
Bring a bottle of vodka, Camel vodka here, and we'll get some of the boys to try. I reckon. Louis and Ben and they'll love to. Get into
I'll
the Camel
do that.
vodka. All right. So let's talk about your skin products. How did that start? Was that part of the original plan, or when you were thinking about milking first and producing camel milk? It wasn't. Okay,
no, it wasn't.
How did this come up?
So it came up about 2 years into the thing. So we got our first camels back in Baldivis, and then we had to move from there. So we moved up to 2J, to our front. We're still farming that block. And then 3.5 years later, we moved to the farm we're on now, which you're going to go to, So what we originally intended to do is to sell it. Ideally, I wanted to find like a coffee roaster that has a good distribution to a lot of cafes and just piggyback a liter of milk with them. So when they do their coffee runs, they can just sell our milk and, as I said, specialty cafes. Because of the price point, because of all that. Then that didn't, I don't know, we started that, but what we realized is, like usually you farm and you get really dry, cracky farmer's hand, and I never got it. Because you can always, especially early
that
on.
for milking?
That's right, and then my first thing.
Show me your hands.
Well, there's still colours on it, but they're not cracked up and dry. Like of course you get colours and stuff, but they're not dry hands.
Right. You got an accountant's hands, mate.
That's it. Yeah, that's right. And then my father-in-law, he had some eczema. And my previous seeing eye doc, Forrest, he had a bit of a red belly, and so I spoken to a lady at the time that I knew through another friend, and she was making her own soaps and lotions. And I said, put that in a lotion. So we just tried it. She tried, goat milk products have been around. And I just did a bit more research and found that camel milk has these alpha hydroxy acids, and they're basically a bunch of organic acids that remove that, upper skin layer and reveal the young skin underneath. So it's like an exfoliant, really. And because of the small molecular structure, it's inherently like a good ingredient for skincare. So it penetrates deeply into your skin and delivers, the iron, for instance. Iron is important for collagen production. Delivers it where you need it.
That would be a lot more involved process, I can imagine, to develop and create moisturizers, skincare products. And
much more regulated, much more, not regulated necessarily, but, you add a lot of other ingredients together. So first of all, pick your good natural ingredients, because of course, if you just only pick synthetic ingredients, you already lose more than half of your potential customers. So we went and worked with a contract manufacturer at the time because I had no idea. And the original one was with this old lady. And by the way, she still makes soaps for us now. And she is quite astonishing. Like I don't actually really know how old she is, but she's well and truly in her 80s, 83, 80. And she, makes bar soaps and so it's cool. So, but
where is it? So tell me the range of products that you produce through your farm there. So you got moisturizer.
Yes. So we've got a lotion that's
body lotion,
a hand and body lotion.
Hand and body. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got a hand and body wash. Then we've got a normal
like
hair
a shower gel.
Yeah. We have a shampoo and conditioner.
Shampoo and conditioner for your hair as well.
Yes. Yeah. And we've got a day and night cream.
Day and night cream, face cream.
Yes.
Yeah.
And lip balm, and then a range of different bar soaps.
Okay.
And then we do a dog shampoo as well. And
dog shampoo, of course.
Yeah, and I brought one bottle, and that's of course.
Fawn is so graceful, she's just chilling there.
Fawn is in a
she's in her element. She's having a great time.
She's a little princess, so she likes that. But so with a shampoo, obviously because I've got a seeing eye doc, and they are amazing, and I always wanted to give back a little bit. And so I pressured them a little bit and back and forth, and so now we're allowed to, use their logo basically on our label to say every bottle we're selling, we're giving back $1 to seeing eye doc, for the amazing work they're doing.
Amazing.
So
I love that.
Yeah. Okay. And it's obviously a story that is, pretty close to my heart, I guess, because I have the benefit of that little girl every day.
Yeah.
Besides being fantastic and enabling me, to come here, for instance. Of course, I had someone drive me down from the farm, but then just to navigate into the cafe and come up to the studio, they're doing an incredible job.
Yeah.
And people need to train them. And then on the side, of course, she's the most beautiful pet as well, because people always see them in harness in the public, but once the harness goes off, click.
Yep, gone.
She is
off.
She's
not working anymore.
No.
Amazing. So Where do people find your products? Online or in stores? Have you got them in stores?
Yeah, a little bit in stores. That's really something I'm focusing on now.
Trying to get them out in stores. Which stores have you got them in now?
Just like specialty gift stores, like Uniquely 2J in the visitor centres, the Baker's Hill Pharmacy, like a hairdresser down here and a hairdresser in Joondalup. Like a handful. Harvey Cheese down south. There's a winery, like those kind of venues. But we're really, really looking for a distributor Australia-wide or even bigger. Like I've got my hands out. Like we're reaching out to the Middle East, of course. Yeah. I've got interest now out of China, where they just last week actually another guy contacted me. And to be honest, we already got all our products registered. We've done it 2 years ago. It took a year and a half. With all the safety certificates and whatever allergy thing, we've got them registered for the EU market. So we can export from here into the European Union. The only thing is, the guy that did it with us, he pulled the pin last minute. We had the first pallet packed. Yeah. And then he said, no, like if custom then comes and I get in trouble. He just didn't do it. And I could not believe. So if, there's so much opportunity, we just need really strong partners to do it, because I can't do it all by myself. Yeah, full stop. Like
Understood.
I'm happy to be the face and talk to people, but at the same time, should I really be the face? Maybe you need a nice, pretty lady to do it. I'm really good in the background operation. Like I love the farm. I really like to work with the camels, and I can organize from the wild camel to have the milk there, go into production. I can manage all that. But yeah, that's what we're sort of working towards, and open-minded business partners, whatever. If you find people that want to help us with the distribution, there you go. Let's go.
No, I get it. So here's a question for you. I have no idea, but I would imagine that skincare products and camel products and camel milk would be a lot more popular in different parts of the Middle East, United Arab Emirates, and Saudi, all of those regions, yeah?
And Asia, funny enough, as well. Like
Asia as well.
Korea and, Singapore,
Okay, how popular are camel products in the Middle East? Because I travelled as well throughout.
You haven't seen it.
Maybe I haven't seen it. Well, maybe I wasn't looking. When you're not looking. Now, if I go back, I'm pretty sure that it will be in my face everywhere I go.
No, it won't, because it's not even in those countries. There's some camel milk soap that they do, as far as I know. I think, in fact, Australia has probably, because Camel Co does a skincare range, Summerland. There's, I think, Camel Life. So there's maybe 4 different brands here. Q Camel, 5. But in the Middle East, there isn't really.
So it sounds like there's potential even exporting to the Middle East.
It's huge, yeah. Because
that's insane. We're exporting camel products from Australia to the Middle East, where all the camels...
It sounds insane, but at the same time, the Australian products are highly regarded in those regions. Yeah. The same in Asia, made in Australia. Yeah, and I'm just applying for that. The kangaroo in that green triangle. We're just going through that process, so we have that. That is a important icon that you. So I don't know why they don't do it. I mean, there's chocolate there and all that. But Middle Eastern ladies, and that's from a report, like a global skincare report I've read. They use about double the amount, or spend double the amount of money on cosmetic and skincare than westernized women. And that is huge. Even though they're often, fully enclosed and you can't even see them. Yeah. But they spend double the amount of money on cosmetics.
Wow.
So it's a huge market. And we do, as I said, we do through the research work with the Saudis at the moment, and got some links there. And that one...
Are you exporting right now?
No, not right now. Just waiting to hear from them. It's extremely hard. Like if you got connections, let me know, like that. Right. Because they, it's extremely hard to build a relationship with them.
We do know some people out in those countries, so Or reach out to them and put your products in front of them and see what happens.
Yeah, because hotels, for instance, is a huge opportunity as well. You could go. We're waiting. We've got contacts as well into the Four Seasons, for instance, in Kuwait, and different. Like if it goes there, we've got some. I'm working with a guy in America. Even just Amazon in America, because that's a huge market as well. But if you had it in a hotel chain, and then people would use it as amenities in their rooms, and like in a 5-star hotel or whatever, high-end hotel, that would be amazing.
Fair enough. Excellent, Max. So tell me, let's talk a little bit about your life, your personal life now. So
yeah,
you're in Paralympics and you're a runner?
I am, yeah.
Okay. And tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I started running, since I can remember, but pretty much, played a little bit of soccer when I grew up. But since I was 8, I always did athletics, throwing, jumping, running. And then obviously we found out that running was obviously the thing I could do best together with my brother.
People can't even walk, let alone run
Yeah,
with
look,
full
I
vision.
know.
You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
This is going to be
very
challenging.
Look, I always had my brother, and we always trained together a lot. So we like really close, especially during that time. Even when we're learning for school or for uni later, we would do it while we're running and talking about top topics because he's a vet. He's a very similar subjects to agriculture. It's all natural science, and So, but yeah, he was always my running partner as well. And to me, going 2 hours shopping is more tiring for me to go than going 10Ks running. That's just how it feels. I don't know. It's just obviously over the years and decades that decades. No, it makes me sound so old, but it is decades by now. That I've been doing the sport. Obviously, your whole body adjusts, right? So I've got the stature of a runner now. And not just I'm not a bodybuilder or not heavy in the gym, but I'm endurance.
You look pretty fit, man.
Yeah, well, thank you. I try. That's a farm.
It's a farm. It's a camel milk.
Yeah, that's it. I'm 78. I didn't. No, I forgot that. No. But so we developed that. Basically, the whole running evolved slowly, and then when I was 18, I got then what they call a wild card. So even though I didn't quite qualify, they took me to Athens to the Paralympic Games, right. Which was, that was the biggest event you can imagine, for a youngster like that. And then since then, I was on top of my game, and every year went to World Championships in Brazil and a high performance center in South Africa and Beijing in 2008 and New Zealand World Championships and different European Championships. And so, just did that every year, basically for 11 years straight professionally.
11 years, wow.
Yeah, and so we basically, I'd had to do all my uni stuff around it as well. But, a healthy mind and a healthy body.
Yeah.
So that sort of didn't, that was quite good. So I always make you're not earning the kind of money that you're earning as a Paralympic athlete.
You're working, you're an athlete, you're studying.
Yeah, but what I mean.
You've done exceptionally well. You've done an amazing job, and yet we're still,
Thank you.
Puts things in different perspective when people whinge and complain and about just little things in life and how that stops people. That's crazy when you put it in perspective, right?
True, but I never think about it. As I said, I've got the disability that I've got, but I think my seeing eye doc instructor, he put it straight one day and said, Max, you're a guy with a vision impairment that does things. And other people that have a vision impairment, it's the other way around. I stuffed it up. Yeah. But often they put the disability first, and then they do stuff like look at my disability and what I can do, and I just do things with the disability. Yeah. And I think that if you really think about it, I think that's really the gist of it. Yep. I don't, yes, I've got the issue, and it is bloody annoying, right? It's not saying
annoying.
It's not. It's frustrating sometimes for me.
Of
Like
course.
I drive the tractor like yesterday, and then the sun is like it's hard for me. Like it is just hard, and we put out, and you'll see that on the
And you
farm.
drive a tractor on the farm.
Yeah. I do.
Wow.
And so we put out the white core fluid, or now we've got this white poly rail stuff visual markers on the fence, because we do operate early mornings, late afternoon. So it's the sun is bad or it's pitch black. So we've got good
Max,
light.
how do you drive a tractor with 2 or 3% vision?
So I've got peripheral vision. So in here, when I come here, this is all new to me. So
Yeah.
it's darker light conditions is difficult. That's why I need phone. Out on the farm, I really know my way around. I know where everything is, and it's more open space. It's not as busy and flickering. So in fact, when I work with the camels, I don't have fawn on me on the harness the whole time. She would be in there. I just do it on my own, right? I'm just running around on my own, obviously. Like fawn is not barking, turn left and double bark, turn right or something.
Yeah.
So I just, because I've got the peripheral, I see that. So I've got like a blind spot in front. I use the fence to orientate, and then it doesn't always go well. I've hit the fence before, but again, it's just part of it. And you can be frustrated because you've got to do the work and fix it up again. And that's what I mean. That's, it's not easy, but does it help me to complain about it and just get a blind pension and sit on the couch? No, it doesn't really. So that's why I just do what I like, not to show people. Like
You just do it.
Because get on with it.
You got to do things, right?
That's it, yeah.
Exactly.
And that's why, of course, I can't understand. Like if some people, as you said, whinge and whine about
little things.
I mean, everyone has their own issues, and I get that. And for
we all
us,
have issues.
Oh yeah,
life is full of issues, right?
Yeah.
But it shouldn't stop you from doing whatever you need to do, right?
And I don't know, like for me, if I think about it talking to you now, like I really feel optimistic intrinsically. I feel this drive. I feel that, right? Sometimes I have days when things are not, and it's very overwhelming what we're doing sometimes, because I've got so many balls in the air that we're juggling. And then sometimes you're like, and financially and everything. And then you have family, you want everything at the same time. It's daunting, and it's sometimes really hard. But often if something goes wrong, or we really, had a bad day, then often I wake up the next day, and funny enough, I feel refreshed, and like I think I can do it again. I mean, I've seen someone saying, or read somewhere as well, if you look at the next 10 years, it's daunting. But if you look at the next week or day by day, it's good fun.
Just do 1 hour, 1 day at a time.
Like have little milestones.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely. Yeah, one foot in front of the other. You have children?
Yeah, I've got 2 beautiful kids. They are really cool. They live the coolest life I wish I had. I mean, I've got a good upbringing as well. But
2 boys?
No, 2 girls. One of each.
One of each.
So I've
got 1 boy, 1 girl. How old are they?
So the girl is 9 and the boy just turned 8 now. And
1 year apart. That's great.
Yeah, 1.5 years.
Who's the older?
The girl.
Okay.
And so she'll be 10 in February, and they are so cool. Like, and I just see even like with my son. I mean, they come out with the camels if they want. If they don't want, whatever. But they've been always steering the car, steering the tractor since I can remember, since they're 2-3 years old and could touch the steering wheel. Now my son drives the thing on his own. Like one day I thought, mate, you're so responsible. I took 2 hours and showed him shifting and everything. He can drive the tractor around. Like
it's amazing.
He goes into the shed, and he is good. He's not
the best way to raise children, right?
And they're so and I tell him, look, this is a serious thing. If you hit anything, there's this real power behind it. Like you do real damage, or you can kill someone. Like if you got friends over, they're not toys, right? To show off and go crazy, and then something stupid happens. So we're really good with that, and he knows, and he's so good with it. Like it's
amazing.
Yeah,
great.
It's really cool.
So what other sports do you get into? Do you still run every day?
I try to. Sometimes I don't quite make it, but I sort of came up with the so-called extra mile, which is you know how you say, oh, people should run the extra mile. I literally call it the extra mile because sometimes, you know, I'm knackered. I had a big day out on the farm and whatever, and it's pitch black dark, but still Fawn needs a little loop out, and I run around our milking paddocks. It's like a loop, and then around the training paddock. It's like a figure eight almost. At night, whatever time, that's my minimum type thing. Like, you know, I follow a little schedule, you know, where I do my base endurance run and still like intervals. So if I got the time, I'll do that, you know, I have my threshold runs, and then on Saturdays I do my little uphill runs and just to really stay on top. But if I really struggle and nothing happens, I just go jogging. I run the extra mile, and it is literally, I think it's 1.8 kilometers only. It's a short, but I tell you, it freshes up your mind. It's only a 10, 15-minute thing. Yeah. And that's the minimum that at least I get out and moving, and I've got the feeling I put on my running shoes, and I think it must have sustained me over the last years doing the business.
I love it. So what's your ideal time to exercise? In the morning first thing? Or
I prefer morning, yeah. I'm a morning person.
Day
I don't
started.
know why, yeah. I do run at night and stuff as well, but often like 2 hours after a proper breakfast, you know, on the weekend, 11
on the weekend, yeah. After the brekkie, you've got you know, all the calories and energy. You go out and
that's it.
Rip some kilometers.
Like you, I know you've been to the gym. I mean, I want to go there as well and try that and check it out.
Well,
I mean, I love that attitude.
And we'll do a workout together.
Oh, for sure.
So, how often do you exercise every week? Like,
I try daily. Yeah.
Daily.
Yeah. I try to go every day.
And your morning run, how long does that go for?
Yeah, it depends. So usually,
I used to run. Max, sorry to cut you off. I used to run, and then I struggled with my knees after a little while, and then I just get on the bike now. Better, but you know, I like a 5K run for me. That's a decent run. A 10K, you know, that used to. I wasn't killer. I was never that fit. Yeah. So how?
No, that's all right. So I mean, usually we're about 8 to 12 Ks, I reckon, by the time you finish.
Daily.
Yeah. Sometimes it's only, like, as I said, like sometimes I do a 5-6 kilometer recovery run, just run to our back gates, or usually the time to check our paddocks or water troughs. You know, I use that as well. Or because I have to be on the phone quite a lot. It must be so annoying sometimes when people talk to me. I'm always like running, you know, got the running. And I just run and talk to business people and stuff, but I just don't care.
Like run and talk.
Yeah, talk to them and just, you know, because I have to follow up so many things, and that's just when I do an endurance run.
Yeah.
If let's say, for instance, my kids they go to the bus at our farm gate. They get collected by the school bus, and so they ride their bike down there. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, when my wife is at work, we used to have like an au pair that did it all, and I said, stuff all that. I'm not paying someone to look after my kids so I can go to work. So now, obviously, we've got people milking, doing the work, and then I'm looking after the children. So, and I love it. It's like, you know, I get up, like today, for instance, I do the lunchbox for them, and then they get onto their bike, and they ride down to the bus stop, and I run. So that back and forth is 3 kilometers. And then usually that's my warm up. And then I do my 2 kilometer threshold runs and a warm down. Bang, you got your 8, 10 Ks then. Like, yeah.
How long does it take you to do 5 or 10 kilometers run?
Yeah, I mean, like endurance, like just normal, or
just
like
normal.
Like normal. I think I might run around 4.5 minutes to 5.5 minutes pace, depending on, you know, my day. Yeah. So what's that? 22 to 25 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's
5K.
5K. That's still pretty fast.
Well, that's all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's relative. Yeah. Like obviously I'm a runner, right? I mean, we used to run much faster than that. But it's not, to be honest, we trained incorrectly as well in the past. I discovered more and more now. My brother is still extremely fit as well. Like he's got more time to run, I guess, what he does and stuff. But so I think these days the training philosophy has changed. So a lot of times now you just go slow and do that base endurance, and then you have your threshold runs in between. Like I think we used to train too hard back then. We were just grinding, didn't recover from one session to another. You know, we were running, let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday was always a 16K run in 4-minute pace, 3:45 4-minute pace, which is faster than 15 kilometers an hour. So we're overtaking people on their bike and stuff.
Wow.
Crazy. I used to run like 120 up to 150 kilometers a week when we're training full time. Then you train in the morning, you do your interval training, and then at night you do a cool down or the other way around. So we're often clocked up 16 to 20 Ks every day.
Wow. Did you do other sports or just running?
Just run. Well, we did a bit of swimming once or so the week, and sometimes off season a bit of cycling. I had a little excursion into the cycling world in between, and that was more because I wanted to try triathlon. And I got stuck. Like I looked for someone because I needed someone to help me ride a bike tandem. Like I can ride the bike on my own on the farm and stuff, but I can't obviously on the racing.
Yeah.
So I got stuck with this guy on a tandem in the velodrome here in Midland. And so for 2 years I was racing with him, and we did like the Australian Grand Prix, and flew over to Melbourne twice and competed in the Australian Championships. And done quite all right, but he was a sprinter and I came more from the longer distances. So I needed really a different pilot that would be able to go, you know, more like I could. And then anyways, I returned back to cycling. Is very time consuming.
Yeah.
Like, you know, some guys have to cycle 5 and 6 hours a day to get the similar effect that I get out of an hour and a half running.
Inspirational, Max. So, I would love to come out to the farm and visit.
That would be great.
And get to see some of your babies and camels.
Yes, that would be awesome.
You know, yeah. So have you got baby camels at the moment?
Yeah, we've got some right now. Yeah, there's still a couple to come. And
what are they like to handle?
Well, the babies... So the babies we try not to handle too much unless we have to. Like we had couple of, you know, and you always lose some as well sometimes, which is part of it. But as I said, the mum usually watches over them fairly strongly, some of them they're quite protective.
They get aggressive.
They're not. There's no such thing as aggression in camels, but they are protective of them. So sometimes they stand right over them.
They're a big animal.
They're big animals.
Yeah, you don't want to accidentally or unintentionally.
But still, because they know us, like I'll still go and touch them and lift them up, and you just often do it sometimes with 2 people because they can either try to bite you or, you know, the worst is really you bend down to lift up the baby to help it, right? Because it hasn't been up yet and you just want to help the baby, and then the mum kicks you or something in the front. Right. That's, you know, don't
You've been kicked before?
Oh, I got kicked many times. Luckily not in the head and stuff, but that's part of the job.
Man, a kick that could put you out.
Well, if they kick you in the head, but like often if they just kick backwards, it's like a pancake kick. Because it's like this soft treaded sole. It's like a leathery sole.
So it's not like a horse.
They don't have a hoof. That's right. So a hoof would really hurt. I mean, it still hurts.
Pancake kick.
I say that. Well, softer. But
right.
It depends. See, the secret is with any large animal is very counterintuitive. You have to be as close to the animal as possible because then they can push you. But people often stay that 1.5 meters away.
Perfect distance. Perfect distance for a big blow, you know.
So if you tuck up to the camel, they will just shovel and push you
around.
Same
as the horse, actually.
Any big
stuff
animal.
Like that. Any big animal. You got to be as close as you can.
If you can.
But it's, you know, for people who don't know and not experienced, it's too intimidating to be that close and to get scared. But that's the safest place to be.
Or right away. Like it's, But I mean, look, camels, as I said, they're not ours. They're very intelligent. They're routine animals, and they're good to work with.
So babies are not like, you know, to be handled.
Played.
and
No,
play.
not really. They get the first couple of days. They're quite like they come up. I've got really cute little shorts and videos on my. They come up and follow you. They're so cute.
Right.
But then
So you're not scared of humans?
No, no. They
when
don't
these
know.
Come out, yeah.
No,
okay.
they just popped out and they have no idea.
Okay.
We just had one calf now. It's the first time we're doing it. One of my workers took her home now because she couldn't get up, and I was every night, every 3-4 hours, you go there for many nights to help them along to get up, and then eventually they suckle and do all that. Like usually they should be doing it within 6 hours, right? But if it doesn't happen, you just got to help them along. And this mum was really good. She would just, let me do anything. She wasn't protective. But then, it looked like how much longer, can I do that? So I said to that worker, she take her home. And now she's getting, I think yesterday she said to me, now she got up the first time after a week herself. Before you always have to help. And so it's still not clear if that baby will push through, but, we'll just try whatever, to raise them. But yeah, in general, the mum would look after them.
Right.
And that's what you want. You don't want, you never play with a calf, because once they grow up, if they want to do the same, then it's not so funny because they weigh 500 kilos. And so you really want them to learn to be a camel as well. Don't humanize them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with most animals.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Well, that's Max. Thank you very much for coming
thanks,
in and
Ray.
sharing your amazing story with me.
I really appreciate it.
And we're going to try to put all your products out there, and I can't wait now to try camel milk. I've never had camel milk.
No, it's good that we did it as a little teaser. And again, our main website is probably.
Yeah, we'll put it up on the screen,
yeah.
and we'll put it in the description.
Awesome.
And yeah, that's excellent. And the skin products, and you're selling that online as well.
We're selling it at DromeDairy.com.au, and I do do a little series on YouTube. DromeDairy Behind the Hump. So if you go at DromeDairy, you'll find us. And
Behind the
people,
hump.
Yeah, just to show people what's happening behind the hump at DromeDairy. Now we're talking about haymaking, then the camel digestion, how we make just anything we do on the farm. So people explain our mobile milking system, because sometimes it's hard to explain that in short words. And so I do these little 4, 5, 6 minute videos every Wednesday. So every hump day will come out. and then in between we'll have little shorts, what's happening. And people can subscribe on that at DromeDairy and keep following.
Amazing.
That would be amazing.
Thanks, Max. And we'll have you back here again with the camelchinos and the milk and the vodka.
And the vodka, yeah.
For the boys, you know what I mean? Excellent. Thanks, Max.
Thanks, Ray.
All right.
Appreciate it.